Hey, this is your favorite homeboy, Edward, and in our last video, we did an in-depth tour of the inside of my home, and it was a very long construction project. It took 2 years to permit, 1 year to build, and so we gave you that tour to show you the finished product. If you missed that Compton Road series, the construction of my home, go ahead and click the link up there and get caught up to speed. As you know, we weren't just building a home, we were also building a farm. And so last video we did the interiors, and this video we're going to do the exteriors. So we're going to pick up right where we left off, right here in the mudroom, and we're going to walk outside. I'm going to give you a tour of the JCS farm operations on our 4 acres. So stay tuned and check this out. All right, so coming into the garage, got the farm boots on, essential for property when you have mud all over the place. This is our garage. Nothing much to say about the garage other than we try to maximize the space. Everywhere you see is like we're trying to squeeze in as much as you can because I'm trying not to buy a shed. So, you know, right now we're just trying to maximize space. Hung up the bikes, hung up the tools. This is our workshop. We are able to fit 2 garages in here. What a miracle. I mean, 2 cars. Who fits 2 cars in the garage these days? All right, so I got the dog leash because we're going to take you out to the back. Actually, let me take you out the front first, all right? This is our generator that we used. Cool story, and you'll probably see that in the construction video. If you haven't seen that, check that out. But we lived on site for about 3 to 6 months as this house was being built. I was a general contractor, and because we lived on site, we had no electricity at the time. And this puppy kept us warm. Turning on this generator in the middle of the night, essential. All right, actually, since I'm talking about it, let me take you into the tiny home. This is the tiny home. This is where we lived for 6 months, and we just had it delivered on site. We were like, well, we could live temporarily in an apartment, pay an arm and a leg, or we could live in the tiny home and pay the same amount and actually keep the building. So this was our house for 5 people, where we had a little office area, a little bedroom area, study area. I mean, everything's squeezed in here. And every time the county inspectors would come by, I would cordon this place off, because if they knew we were living here, they probably would have gave us another notice, like they've been giving us so many notices. So let's come on in. I'll give you a quick tour of this. Okay. Yeah. All right, look who lives here, my son. Hi. This is actually my office. Say hi to the camera, Josh.
Hi.
All right. So now it's our guest room slash recording room. Recognize this. And our office. Oh, and our treadmill room. And our Netflix room. I mean, it's everything now. But we try to maximize the use out of this bad boy. Now that we have it. All right, let's come on out. Hey, Wisp. Wisp knows she's about to get a walk. There's the back of the house. You see the barn frame up there, and then again extends to the bottom, and then that's kind of our patio. That patio is definitely cleaned up, but we just kind of store all of the food and the straw and just whatever extra material there. Again, trying to avoid having a shed, because once you get a shed, you're just going to fill it up with more stuff. Have a little garden area right there. Our goal is to kind of have a little garden area right there with some fruit trees that we started. I think there's Asian pear and persimmon and stuff like that. Over against the side of the house there on the back, we have a strawberry patch. So having a garden against the home allows the warmth of the home to kind of help with the garden and keep things warm. So we have a little strawberry patch going over there. We have a little mint and herb area on that corner of the house. All right, let's go in the back. Let's go in the back here. This fence has been a huge, huge project for me. It's taken me probably 1.5 years to put up this fence. Goes almost around the entire property. Hey, Wisp. Hey, Wisp. You gonna be our mascot? Sit. Sit. Good girl. Sit. Don't embarrass me in front of the camera. All right, we're gonna go this way. All right, one of the things I loved about this property is that there's a creek on pretty much that runs through the middle of the property. So it's just really peaceful when you're over here outside and you got the water running, especially in the wintertime. In the summer it does dry up, but you can hear the creek, and it's just really relaxing. Over here, let me show you this. We have 2 drains coming out. These 2 drains go around the entire house, so you'll notice water's coming out of there. That keeps the whole property around the house draining really well. We never even hear the sump pump come on. The sump pump's supposed to come on when there's water underneath the house, just because it's all gravel and it drains out really well. Over here's our fire pit slash burn pile. So the bonfires get really crazy out here. We just throw everything there and just torch it. And we've been kind of cleaning up along the edge of the creek, just so you can walk along the creek and kind of enjoy it. So we've been kind of cleaning things up. This tree's been kicking my butt because it's too heavy. I tried chopping it down, but still too heavy for my tractor. Hey duckies! Hey duckies! There's a ducky's favorite hangout spot. Okay, let's come out over here. We're going to take you to a bridge that my brother-in-law Jeremy and I made. So I called it the Bordeaux Bridge. Named it in his honor. And I can drive my tractor across this. It's awesome. Got a little waterfall action going. And then this is the gate that leads to the back. I think probably the back 2 acres. It's probably about 1.5, 2 acres back here. So we'll go on out here. Come on, Wisp. It's your special day. All right, we'll come out here. No ticks, don't worry, I cut the grass. Ticks were a huge problem when we came out here. We'd have ticks on our body. Every time we come out here, we'd have to do like a tick check. Tick check. We'd come home and say, tick check. Just look. All right, this is a shed that I built. Now you know why I don't build things personally. I just oversee things, because otherwise my house would look like this. But this is just kind of our storage area for all of the stuff that we don't need right now. And I bought this, or I built this shed so I wouldn't have to buy one. But yeah, we just kind of stick our hoses and electric netting and all the farm stuff that is seasonal. All right, Whisk, come on. I know you smell mice. Ugh. I won't make you walk through all this tall grass, but our property goes to where those bunch of trees are. And behind that tree line, there's a cool little area that is also ours. It's like a different microclimate. Everything's kind of nice and cool there. And we raised our first set of pigs behind that tree line. You can't even see them. I mean, it's like you would never know that there were pigs back there. And when we had no electricity, no water, we'd have to bring all the water by wagon out here just to take care of our pigs. The food, the water, everything. Just, it was a lot of work. We didn't have hoses. We didn't have a well. We would just bring gallon jugs of water and we would just trek it all the way down here. So this is really cool, a lot of memories. And then I just like taking my tractor twice a year, just mowing down this, all this tall grass. Makes for a cool photo. But yeah, this is about 2 acres back here, and we hardly come out here. We haven't had time to really use it and maximize it. My dream would be to put some acorn trees and let them grow really tall and have acorn-fed pigs. That's a luxury in Spain, by the way. So we're gonna have at our appreciation event. All right, let's go this way. I'll close the gate behind you. What do they call those pigs? No, I forgot what you call them. Anyways, we could get this way, but I don't want to get your shoes all muddy. We'll go around the other way. All right, let me put the ladder back. It's tricky to put a creek, it's tricky putting a fence across the creek. As you notice there, the creek, you know what I need to do? I need to check to make sure that fence, come over here actually. after a big rainstorm, what happens is all the water pushes the fence. And so it's a tricky balance. Do I want that fence to be immobile and the water push and pull my whole fence down? Or do I want it to have some give? And I chose, let's give it some give. But then when I do that, I gotta make sure I come back after a big storm and block it. Otherwise, animals are escaping. So actually I need to do that really quick. Let me do that. And, all right. So this is one of the things we have to do after a storm. And I'm glad I remembered because we've had wisp bolts many times. All right. Water's pretty high. Put like a stone on it. Yeah, I had a stone and I had like this big heavy thing on it, but the water just kind of pushed. That water's strong. So I'm gonna take this big heavy thing, should have no idea what it is, and put it back on this fence. Oh, nice. That'll hold for now. This is supposed to be a house tour, not a fence fixing tour. All right, that's done. If I didn't do that, I'd forget. There's our primitive lock. And don't worry, I won't forget about you, Wisp. All right, let's go. As you can see here, a lot of construction material I kept thinking I could use it and build more makeshift sheds. Life got busy and now it's like a junkyard, so I'm slowly burning this and getting rid of it. I'll take you away from the mud here. Over here is kind of where we have the chickens and the ducks. They just kind of hang out here. We put the electric netting up so wisp would not go bother the birds. They kind of have a safe place to retreat to. These are SIP panels that were left over that we just kind of hang out, let the birds use for shelter, but eventually these are going to have to get trashed too. But you'll notice the SIP panel is styrofoam with OSB board on the side. That's the entire second level of the house. So there's no thermal break for the insulation. Usually if there's a stud, that's a thermal break and it's less efficient for holding in heat and cool air. But this is styrofoam all the way around and also on the roof too, so it's pretty cool. We have our little, what you call this? Compost pile in the making. All right. Wisp, you stay here. You stay here. All right, sit. Sit, good girl, good girl. All right. So, that was the backyard. We're gonna take a quick peek at the side yard and then we'll go to the front. All right, so this is bridge number 2 I gotta make for now. It's just kind of a balancing act. And over here, we have our shed. I mean, we have our trailer. There's some egg nest or chicken nest nesting boxes for the chickens, but Wisp usually stays in there. We also use this trailer to move pigs when they got big enough. And this area over here is also fenced in for the chickens and ducks and guineas and for Wisp. And then this whole side yard is about half an acre. So my goal here would be to transplant some of these evergreens, put them in the front for privacy, and just kind of clean up this area a little bit. I'd love to get goats to help me bring up the trees a little bit. That was in our plans. So this is about half an acre over here. Let's go to the front. All right, here's our propane tank, 1,000 gallon propane tank. So that stays full for at least probably almost a whole year before we have to fill it up. basketball court over here. Had to get the nice basketball spotlights up there so we can play at night. And you'll see that there's a little copper rod sticking out on the top of the roof. That is part of the lightning rod system that I was telling you about. So we decided to go with a metal roof just because we wanted materials that were sustainable, didn't have to replace it. And so we got a metal roof, that way it'd, you know, be with us forever. You'll notice that it's pretty unkept. Over here in the middle, we plan to just kind of put some gravel down. Right now we put some straw just to kind of keep the mud down since we have people coming over. We have like various piles of mulch and fertilizer. There's horse manure, dirt, wood chips, all that's for future gardening. So we're gonna use that in the future. Over here, we're gonna put some trees up on this mound, kind of built that up. I was gonna put a workshop over here, but again, that's future plans. I'm kind of walk you through here. This mound over here, you'll notice, is mounded up a little bit. That's our septic system. So our septic system is a shallow drip system, which means the land doesn't perk really well. And because it doesn't perk really well, you need a lot of space. And it's more shallow than a traditional septic system. And we built a little walking trail around the property. Just threw some mulch down, dug out some dirt. And then you'll notice these blue stakes were kind of plans for future trees where we want to plant privacy trees to have some privacy from the road. Here's one tree that I transplanted. Took it from the backyard and moved it here. We'll see how my transplanting skills work. But hopefully I was able to save it. It's kind of like a persimmon tree. Our neighbor, you notice, has a lot of fruit trees. He's got a lot of persimmon and jujubes and Asian pears. So our goal is to kind of have our own little orchard just like him. Over here on the either side of the stairs, our goal is to terrace, to have two terrace areas. So we're working on that right now with someone to terrace our front to have like a garden and all that stuff. So we're gonna make that more usable. Over here, we kind of have like blackberries or blueberries, stuff that my wife did. I'm not sure what's growing in there, but it's something. That pretty much takes us around the house. Oh, one last piece, the radon system. Mostly on the East Coast, but you know, radon gas is pretty prevalent, so we put one of these in to take radon levels out. Radon's a harmful gas, so it's just a radon mitigation system, pretty common on the East Coast. That's about it. I hope you enjoyed the tour of JCS Farms and just was able to see just what we turned raw land, just farmland overrun by mice and ticks, and spent 2 years permitting, 1 year to build. A lot of drama, kicking out the builder, taking over the project, but I'm really happy with the way it's turned out, and to have kind of like a little farm and homestead that I can call my own and just work on and keep it in the family forever. If my kids sell it, they're in trouble. Well, that's pretty much it. Leave comments below about if you were ever involved in a project, if you're on a homestead. I'd love to hear what your experiences were. And until next time, this is your favorite homeboy signing out.